Welcome to a new Shadow Sister healing video. In my videos, I let your shadow meet your light so you can be whole again. And today we are going to have a fourth episode of the Secret History series. And today's episode is called Beautiful Lie. And I have again book quotes ready for every pile. And today's theme is also the Art of Alchemy. That's why I have my cauldron here. Let's see how well this smoke shows, but we have here nice incense. Let me introduce the piles. There is everything is put live here. During the reading, I will make you this spread of Art of Alchemy. I'm gonna put in my post the visual of this spread if you wanna try this home also. So we are doing alchemy, and as last week I was turning the devil into magician, now I'm turning the devils into alchemist. Angel alchemist, exactly. So temperance. So the opposition is devil versus angels. And let's see the devil forecast, which pile you're gonna pick. Pile number 1 is a heart chakra pile. The devil in this pile is 8 of Wands. This was also last week, this billiard player. So you could pick here. Then I have a different heart chakra deck this week that usually bottom of the deck is 4 of Wands. This is usually shadow aspect of the reading. Then you will have an advice card from this Whispers of Love deck. Then one number 2 is this kind of 3 of Wands. Pontem the Medoc Commander. Got the crown chakra deck, so it is from the Book of Shadows Tarot, and the bottom of the deck is the 7 of Pentacles. And then you get this Anubis Oracle, Egyptian Oracle deck. And then pile number 3, we have a 4 of Wands. This is the devil for you, is Volve San Lambert Cycloclub. So this is for you, and the bottom of the deck is 2 of Cups. This shadow aspect of your reading is love. So these are the certain points, yes, and Solar Chakra is here with the Shadow and Light Oracle. So every pile has a different advice card. But as well, during the reading, I will take from the Karma cards, I will take from the Witches Through History deck, and I'm using this Unknown Alchemy to put in the cauldron prima material to be transformed. And of course, I have my Crime and Shadow deck here as well. So we see more even aspect of the shadow that we are transforming here today. So yes, this week's devils are 8 of Wands, 3 of Wands, and 4 of Wands. What I can immediately say is all is Wands energy, fire energy, and the Aries season is around the corner. Like, let's say the Aries influence is very heavy this year coming up. So it already shows here. It's all about leadership. There is something about how you use the firepower. That's the theme of the week, but we gonna transform somehow this firepower to light. So see you soon in your reading. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's start immediately reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have here underneath the devil card, I have the book quote. So it's The Beautiful Lie. And how many years it's been since the gods have intervened in human wars. I expect Apollo and Athena Nike would come down to fight at your side, invited or uninvited, as the oracle Delphi said to the Spartans. Imagine what heroes you would be. But let's see the whole. It's quite long. Anyway, let's sew this. He was a marvelous talker, a magical talker, and I wish I were able to give a better idea what he said, but it's impossible for a mediocre intellect to render the speech of a superior one, especially after so many years, without losing a good deal in the translation. The discussion that day was about loss of self, about Plato's four divine madnesses, about madness of all sorts. He began by talking about what he called the burden of self and why people want to lose the self in the first place. Why does that obstinate little voice in our head torment us so? He said, looking around the table. Could it be because it reminds us that we are alive, of our mortality, of our individual souls, which after all we are too afraid to surrender, but yet make us feel more miserable than any other thing. But isn't it also pain that often makes us most aware of self? It is a terrible thing to learn as a child that one is being separate from all the world, that no one and no thing hurts along with one's burned tongues and skinned knees, that one's aches and pains are all one's own. Even more terrible, as we grow older, to learn that no person, no matter how beloved, can ever truly understand us. Our own selves make us most unhappy, and that's why we are so anxious to lose them, don't you think? Remember the Erinyes, the Furies, said Bunny, his eyes dazzled and lost beneath the bang of hair. Exactly. How did they drive people mad? They turned up the volume of the inner monologue, magnified qualities already present to great excess, made people so much themselves that they couldn't stand it. And how can we lose this maddening self, lose it entirely? Love? Yes, but as old Cephalus once heard Sophocles say, the least of us know that love is a cruel and terrible master. One loses oneself for the sake of the other, but in doing so becomes enslaved and miserable to the most capricious of all gods. War, one can lose oneself in the joy of battle, in fighting for a glorious cause, but there are not a great many glorious causes for which to fight these days. He laughed. Though after all you Xenophon and Thucydides are, I dare to say, there are not many young people better versed in military tactics. I'm sure if you wanted, you would be quite capable of marching on Hampton Town and taking it over by yourselves. Henry laughed. We could do it this afternoon with 6 men, he said. How? Said everyone at once. One person to cut the phone and power lines, one at the bridge over the Pattenkill, one at the main road out to the north. The rest of us could advance from the south and west. There aren't many of us, but if we are scattered, we will be able to close off all the points of entry. Here he held out his hand, fingers spread wide, and advanced to the center from all points. The fingers closed into a fist. Of course, we would have the advantage of surprise, he said, and I felt an unexpected thrill at the coldness of his voice. Julian laughed. And how many years has it been since the gods have intervened in human wars? I expect Apollo and Athena Nike would come down to fight at your side, invited or uninvited, as the oracle at Delphi said to Spartans. Imagine what heroes you would be. Demigods, said Francis, laughing. We could sit on thrones in the town square, while the local merchants paid you tribute. Gold, peacocks, and ivory. Cheddar cheese and common crackers more like it, Bunny said. Bloodshed is a terrible thing, said Julian hastily. The remarks about the common crackers had displeased him, but the bloodiest part of the Homer and Aeschylus are often the most magnificent. For example, that glorious speech of Clytemnestras in the Agamemnon that I love so much. Camilla, you were our Clytemnestra when we did the Oresteia. Do you remember any of it? The light from the window was streaming directly into her face. In such strong light, most people look somewhat washed out, but her clear, fine features were only illuminated until it was a shock to look at her pale and radiant eyes with their sooty lashes, at the gold glimmer at her temple that blended gradually into her glossy hair, warm as honey. I remember a little, she said. Looking at the spot on the wall above her head, she began to recite the lines. Her voice in Greek was harsh and low and lovely. Thus he died, and all the life struggled out of him. And as he died, he spattered me with a dark red and violent driven rain of bitter savored blood, to make me glad as garden stand among the showers of guarding glory at the birth time of the buds. Okay, so this was now this. A lot is happening here. That's what I can say immediately. Like this is usually a devil that kind of maybe is even the problem here that too much happens too soon. It would be really like just not think enough before doing something. So of course it's a momentum card when it's negative. It's like somebody's taking action too hasty. It's not patient. And when this is a billiard player, there's some games played here. We are now gonna look one more shadow related to this pile. It's a heart pile, so it's also reminding not to be a fake, but be a true lover. And if you would like to protect yourself from any devilish plans or whatever, you have to be strong with your heart chakra. So it is indeed here the very angelic message is here that having heart centered and heart open is really your best protection against any malevolent evil in this world. So let's see what is more of the darkness here before we start turning things to a real love. higher powers from these low levels. Let me see what is the issue here. What is the shadow we need to see? Let me see. Okay, 9 of Pentacle. Money, wealth, independent, abundance. Motive. So the motive with this 8 of Wands, it's money and wealth. So it's all about abundance. This if somebody is doing something, they are after money. It's almost like there's like a bounty hunters. Like there is like a reward, and that's money. It really makes me think about Django, like some kind of like a old western, like a poster, like a catch this criminal and like catch this devil, and you will get money. Okay, let's see. So there's some motivation with the money. Let's start to do this reading. Yes. So we are doing the Art of Alchemy. Indeed, first we started. We are putting the prima materia in the cauldron. So there's 3 elements we are transforming. So of course we are transforming even this darkness to this devil has to be on this side because the angel comes here. We are transforming things in this cauldron. What are related now in this whole matter? What is this beautiful lie here? So, materia we need to talk about is this one. This one. And this one. And then maybe I already take this angel here. This is here. This is a Temperance on the other side towards the light. You can see it eventually. Okay, then these cards. Okay, let's start seeing the material first. It's such a long reading otherwise. So point number 1, we have here vinegar, chaos. Okay, I forgot to say, like, this would be indeed somebody who is willing to do a chaos. It is a lot of movement. A lot of movement. So the chaos is indeed very aligned here. It's in the center here. Oh, and then mortification. So there is really dark energy here. It's even a cross here. This vinegar. Maggots. Oh my god. Things are getting dark. Who is dying now? I already want to see the angel. We are going towards this. Oh, how beautiful. So everything is like very dark here, but we are gonna go in this reading towards true love. This love is once in a lifetime. So maybe you are indeed swinging in this kind of divine swing that goes from the hell to the heaven. Hell to the heaven, like the ups and downs are high. Low are low and high are high. And the motive is to have a lot of money. That's amazing. We're gonna take the tarot cards now. So we're gonna see first, again, this is more the devil card, like here. And this is the shadow that we start changing. So Nigredo, decomposition, first step of alchemy. What is to be broken down into its part? What you need to confront? We already see this devil, and what else? We are having the heart chakra here. Then albedo, next step, second step, purification. Second step of alchemy, which part are essential? What what treasures can you find in this journey? So there's always treasures in a chip pile, so let's see now. 7 of Cups. So it's dreams. Can be illusions also, like a big feeling of having it all. It's like a cloud 9, kind of. This peacock tells a little bit like the really sense of like winning. That's the devil is one thing. It's a bit egocentric. It's a little bit like, okay, look at me, I'm on top of this cloud. And this is a woman, so it's almost like there is this. Of course, there is this true love here. So maybe here, it's very like a virtue signaling this devil style. Like, oh, I'm gonna claim this person. I got everything. The moment I got this peacock, we are fine. Like there is something about showing off. Showing off is here. That's the kind of like a little bit like a Capricorn energy indeed. Like you are showing off with the wealth and all what you got. But this is a dream. 7 of Cups is a beautiful, actually, big dream. So this is a big dreamer also. We are talking about the darkness. We are transforming. So maybe this is a little bit dark dream. All about having money. Then now this is the purification and the treasures we can find. So what is that? Knight of Wands. Okay, sexy knight. Sexiest knight. Interesting. So passionate builder knight is here. Somebody is willing to really ride and die for the cause. There's some passion here. Maybe I read from this little booklet. Is this going? What this text is saying? This is a Leonor Mart. deck, and I have connected this also to heart chakra. So we are talking about which part is essential. So this kind of sexy knight is essential, and it's a traveler, a relative or distant friend, sudden departure. Can be also need to escape. But anyway, this is somebody who's. I love to see this horse here because soon is coming the fire horse here, and this looks really like that. This is telling what is the good thing about the essential part, treasure you can find in this journey is really this fire horse here. Horses are all about movement. The knights are all about movement and things are happening. And this is the firepower. And something is really taking off. And we are going towards this true love. Maybe. Things are really starting to happen here. We have here also the beautiful heart chakra. So yes, somebody has to have this kind of passionate, active approach. This is also the same. It's not bad, but this is all about talking about devil. Now we go to the light. So we are moving to Citrinita's awakening, third step of alchemy. What I need to bring to my consciousness, what needs to be illuminated. So let's see now. Already have the true love here. What needs to be illuminated here? And then the final for rubedo culmination. Final step of alchemy. What is the final product? What is the creative work and its influence in your life? Alchemy is all about creation. So being creative is very essential part of it. Let's see now this third one. Awakening, wow. King of Swords. Wise King. So it talks about really this kind of magician energy also. Like you are solving whatever situation you have with knowledge. You are mastering the swords. So you are able to have a logic as your best friend, and you have a good strategy, and you are really like a clear-minded person. Even if you have a true love, you are like somehow very, very like a mentally wise about it. This is would be more like a hothead here, but how to, what is the what you need to bring to consciousness is this mastering of logic and like intelligence. So intelligence. Then this is the influence on your life. Page of Sword. Okay, so while we have both kind of royal houses cards, the king, the master energy is really here. But then you don't, the point to be creative about the alchemy here is to be curious. You can't stop to be curious. Final product is to think out the box. Really this Uranus energy, really like a innovative, youthful mind. Don't forget the teenager power. Like when there was kind of no limits, when you thought like the world was your oyster. Like you should have this kind of fresh mind that anything is possible. That is the final light here. I often say like I keep her alive. I keep the maiden part of myself alive because that's the fire. That is exactly this kind of fire. Even this would be that kind of dreams, even from your inner child. And you have to remember what you are really here for. What you really what are your values? What are your standards? What are you fighting for? What are those principles? So yes, true love, but there is really this knowing part of it. You know what is right. You work things with knowledge, and even this chaos, everything. You're very logical about it. You handle it with like wisdom. Cool. I think I have to read you the chaos card. Vinegar is always that there is a sour aspect. Like things are a little bit sour. Like it can be a kind of like a wake up with the pain too. Like things are not easy. So it's good to be awake, not to be lulling into some sleep with these dreams. There's really like a feeling like a risk here because there is all this maggots and the chaos. Like maybe you woke up one day now like, oh my god, something is not right here. We are losing the the heart to all this chaos. Just reflecting what is this beautiful lie. This is beautiful lie. Maybe we get the answer soon. Anyway, I'm gonna give you now, before I read this, these are now in the cauldron to be transformed. You're mastering this all with knowledge. Yes, I have to read you with the chaos. It's essential part of it. Transformation process. How do you handle the chaos? Chaos is actually opposite energy of creativity. So while here is really calling you to be innovative person, whatever it is then that you need to master this. So this one, disoriented spinning groundedness. When an alchemist sits in their laboratory amidst the presence of massa confusa, something miraculous is bound to occur. That's because this card, this state, is so powerful and all-encompassing that it typically overwhelms the student to the point of despair. Such is the nature of chaos. It is the grand trickster, the topsy-turvy confusion that turns life on its head and spins a web not even the wisest mystic can untangle. Baffling, yes, disorienting, yes, but the seasoned alchemists recognize it as the most potent point in the alchemical experiment. Wait, observe, do nothing. It is destiny itself that spins the web. Clarity will emerge, one strand at a time. Your only task is to breathe, do not struggle. The three fates hold you in their sights as you free fall towards freedom. Yeah, it's really mind here. You can mastermind stuff. You don't necessarily have to do something because in the spider web you fight against, you get even more tangled. So you are having the clarity. Clarity will emerge one strand at a time when you are just patiently curious about the situation. Okay, let's see. It's mortification. This looks a little bit darkish. A lot of dark energy here. Decay, death, decomposition. Mortification is the great alchemical operation of darkness. What was once composed now decomposes. What was once presentable is now despicable. This stage cannot be avoided. The underworld has taken us into the dark interior of its belly, and here we reside until spring. Through the natural process of decay, we descend into depths we didn't know existed. The alchemist soon finds mortifaction is a stage of regeneration and sacred power where the soil is fertile and rich, offering nourishment for tomorrow. This stage cannot be rushed. The darkness must have time to do its work, to dismantle and to loosen, to free us from old scripts and stories. As we learn to surrender to this great operation, the earth churns and wisdom whispers in the dark. Wow, it's again being patient that something come out of this shit. Really this yin energy. As we learn to surrender to this great operation, the earth churns and wisdom whispers in the dark. She envelopes us with grace and the promise of what's to come. And you could go deeper to read the Egyptian story of Osiris. And Halloween is a global celebration of mortification and the underworld. If this card has got you down, flip the script, there is freedom and expression in every operation. And this is connected to that card and underworld. And it's a universal symbol not to be taken personally. A lot of darkness here. We are really touching with this devil. Whatever is happening with this one, it's not very nice. I think I read the vinegar too, because all these are here to be transformed, and if I don't read them all, maybe you don't get the big picture, so let's have the vinegar too. Acidity, distillation, memory. Tonguenous vinegar. Even the suggestion of receiving a few drops into the mouth reminds us of vinegar's sour and lip-puckering qualities. In alchemy, vinegar serves as an active agent of distillation, fermentation, and preservation. It is incredibly useful when applied in the right amount and with intention. This said, it can be easily overused, overwhelming the situation at hand. When the vinegar card is present in a reading, it indicates a sour note permeates the laboratory. It is likely something from the past is showing up in the present and demanding our attention. It is in vinegar's nature to take over, to overwhelm. Be cautious with this material. A little goes a long way, as they say. It is productive to look at your past, but not to stare. Such is the complex energy of vinegar. Now, it makes me think about this chaos too. If you look too much into the chaos look back at you. You cannot be overwhelmed by this. Otherwise, you're kind of like swept away. So keep your mind focused and aim for clarity, like eye of the storm, I would say, is here happening. And the big motive here, abundance, yes, it's a beautiful thing with money and wealth, but true love, it's an amazing thing. If you get through this darkness, on the other side there is a love of a lifetime. So the little bit this kind of clouds are gathering, fire horse is starting to run, and there's a lot of darkness coming from the past to haunt you a little bit. But let's see now a little bit advices here. So we have here witch's history. So one witch history advice comes here for you. Final one. I'm gonna look that this is still going. Yes. Wow, the toad. Adaptability, restlessness, change. Water. The frog is here. I wanna kiss the toad. There is a prince, true love. Okay. So, just as the toads move from water to land as the need arises, the appearance of the toad in a reading symbolizes change and not remaining stagnant. Perhaps you've been feeling restless and out of place, or simply bored with the current situation. The toad asks you to take a look at your predicament and exercise adaptability. Is there a way for you to adjust and improve your current conditions? If so, begin the steps to do so. If the situation seems dire, then the toad invites you to move into different waters. Next advice comes from the karma cards. What is now the karma of this situation? Facing this darkness, what we cannot escape. What is here to know? Sun, that's a nice thing. Spiritual, the creation of. Mental, the gaining of respect for or from. Physical, things brought to life or light. So yes, even before this reading, I was intuitively just taking a picture of me with the sun. Sun is part of this reading in the sense like this card represents the sun here, and this card represents the moon. So really to be open-minded is a thing. Beginner's mindset is a very good thing. Being psychic, you should always be that way, because if you always are analyzing things, the information, and you cut with all the senses, you have to keep those like an open mind about things that you are receiving. So in your situation, to find new paths or new pathways, there is something that you have to kind of find a new pathways. There is some kind of haunting past situation that maybe keep you stuck. Something new is sprouting, and this kind of new innovator energy is coming here. But you need to be really having this leadership skill here with mental agility and mental mastery, strategy, and then be also open-minded, not too strict, too old. Structure, create this nuance, kind of like open road. This would be in the castle. This would be like a willing to explore new territories. Let's see. I need some verify cards here. Yes, there's so much darkness here that transforming this this frog to a prince or king, it's really a process. So let me first give you a little bit like a light card. Let's put a little bit light in this cauldron. I'm gentle. So being gentle in this situation is important. Gentle with yourself even. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Things can be hard, but you don't have to be like hard to yourself. You can be gentle. Here, I'm hurt. So even those hurtful things or things related to death or something like endings, it's like it's good if you've been hurt. Like what is the pain? Let it be hurt. What is this? I'm smart. So that is something that you should remember. You are smart, but with the chaos, remember to be gentle also. It's almost like this heart. Often people are like afraid to be vulnerable because they're afraid to hurt their heart. But the heart chakra is actually the king of the whole body, the emperor of the whole body. And if the heart is really activated, the heart chakra is activated, it's actually like a, how can I say it? It's like it put life to everything. It's repel all the shit. It's like the king is back in the castle. So the gentleness is part of when the heart is loving, when the heart is caring, when somebody is caring and loving, they are able to feel the love for everybody, not just selfishly, egoistically for themselves. They're able to connect and not just isolate in some place. So just opening the heart is healing, but it is indeed is emperor of the whole body. So whole body gets activated whole, and while your whole body gets activated, it's like you get the sun back to your life. So really, how you can activate that kind of solar power in you. The sun is really this kind of masculine mental power too. So I would say truth is essential part of it. Speak your truth, but be also gentle. And no lies. Even this title is Beautiful Lie, but indeed lies can be beautiful. The truth is not always beautiful. The truth can be actually ugly. Yes. But it's needed. Okay, let me verify a little bit more. It's getting very long reading. Anyway, let me verify a little bit this last card. The Magician and Three of Swords. Wow. So the sword energy is needed, and it's all about this kind of pain in the heart. How the Magician, also ruled by Mercury, Gemini powers also, Virgo, it is connected to the Three of Swords. So it is all about using swords to understand that some words have hurt you, or that somebody not hearing your truth, that you've been silenced or something. That also might have been the case. But there is that kind of fight of the of the words. It's like intellectual fight here, actually. This is beautiful that this page of sword becomes actually a magician. So it is working with this kind of knowledge, healing knowledge, which is totally totally what you have to do to tackle the devil. Devil is being coy about the putting lies and putting all kind of untrue things in the world, while the magician is actually using knowledge, really going for the truth. So it's beautiful to see it here in the light position. Healing magic. Yes, with words, with powerful words. Tackle this pain. Maybe some story you have to tell about what has hurt you, because there is all these scars here. Storytelling could be part of this healing here. Telling better stories. And something about true love. I think I will read this little advice for this too. It's going to be a long one for this part, but I like so much to see the true love on the table. So, number 30. So, this is the final advice. The light. This relationship is part of your life's plan. Unconditional love is easier said than done. Remember the love aspect of your partnership. If it's a true relationship, the connection will be almost perfectly balanced. Maintaining the love in a relationship takes more than good intentions. Positive intentions are a solid first step, but it is better to learn how to nurture your relationship each day. This is vital to staying connected and growing your love into a strong bond. Be open to love when it shows up in your life. Be authentic and avoid changing yourself to mirror your potential partner. Make sure you are voicing your values. True love is elusive and rare. Look for someone who meets your emotional, spiritual, and physical needs. The young lover's eventual kiss might be portraying a true love kiss. The sparrow on the left may indicate elevated thoughts and standards. The sparrow encourages you to keep your heart light on and release heavier energy. Yes, this is totally to how now we see in the cauldron. There's a heavy energy you need to release. The child next to the sparrow represents childlike ideology and is a message to enjoy the moments as they present themselves. The pair of unicorns at the head of the partner on the right invokes the magical energy surrounding the relationship you aspire to achieve. Even here, trying to keep this also love reading, there is really magic part of your light. So whatever it is, it's even almost like this frog is such a magical animal, even like a yes, magic will turn this devil to a better person. Okay, I forgot to give you current feelings per person. This is also interesting aspect of reading. Let's see, it's still going. Yes, 44 minutes. Current feelings per person by number 1. I'm gonna give you okay. So many feelings. So the cloud 9 is here. It was already showing here. So extremely happy, adventure, the full satisfaction, head over heels, freedom, euphoria, complete whole, spring in the air, expansion, nirvana, deep feelings, opening heart. So yes, this is showing here. We have here also the age gap serves as reminder that the twin flame journey is about the soul, not the ego. The older twin can guide while younger twin bring fresh ideas and energy. Yes, this would be totally this kind of younger twin flame. Well, this is the old and young, true love. The secret history, wow. Never expected to fall so hard for you. Wow. It's really like this. And well, it sucks to be honest and it hurts to be real, but it's nice to make some love that I can finally feel. Shadow Days by John Mears. One more. That which you need the most will be where you least want to look. Interesting advice coming from your person. So that what you need the most, you least want to look. So it's all about this depth. It's all about this darkness that is maybe not pleasant, but this pain is something you need to look at. It can transform into something very genius, maybe even some lyrics or song or something beautiful. Like there is really, out of this chaos is born this true love. So yes, beautiful. Not just a lie, but love. True love. Okay, I'm gonna prepare the next reading. Welcome to your reading, pile number 2. I'm just looking that everything is going. Yes. So we start reading your devil is 3 of Wands. This would be usually having plans for the future or seeing a little bit future. Negative side of this devil would be maybe you're not so ready of what is coming up. Something can be overwhelming because it's a negative. Let's read now first from this book. So the text is, and it's a temptation for any intelligent person, and especially for perfectionists such as the ancients and ourselves, to try to murder the primitive, emotive, appetitive self. But that is a mistake. Interesting. I end up giving this card to the pile number 2, even if it was originally meant for 3, but I think there's a meaning that this came now for here. For some reason, it's now here. Once the cups were set out and Henry had poured the tea, somber as mandarin, we began to talk about the madness induced by the gods, poetic, prophetic, and finally Dionysian, which is by far the most mysterious, said Julian. We have been accustomed to thinking of religious ecstasy as a thing found only in primitive societies, though it frequently occurs in the most cultivated peoples. Okay, let's show this together. The Greeks, you know, really weren't very different from us. They were a very formal people, extraordinarily civilized, rather repressed. And yet they were frequently swept away en masse by the wildest enthusiasm, dancing, frenzies, slaughter, visions, which for us, I suppose, would seem clinical madness, irreversible. Yet the Greeks, some of them anyway, could go in and out of it as they pleased. We cannot dismiss these accounts entirely as myth. They are quite well documented. True ancient commentators were as mystified by them as we are. Some say they were the results of prayer and fasting, others that they were brought about by drink. Certainly, the group nature of the hysteria had something to do with it as well. Even so, it is hard to account for the extremism of the phenomenon. The revelers were apparently hurled back into non-rational, pre-intellectual state, where the personality was replaced by something completely different, and by different I mean something to all appearances not mortal, inhuman. I thought of the Bacchae, a play whose violence and savagery made me uneasy, as did the sadism of its bloodthirsty god, compared to the other tragedies which were dominated by recognizable principles of justice, no matter how harsh. It was a triumph of barbarism over reason, dark, chaotic, inexplicable. We don't like to admit it, said Julian, but the idea of losing control is one that fascinates controlled people such as ourselves more than almost anything. All truly civilized people, the ancients no less than us, have civilized themselves through the willful repression of the old animal self. Are we in this room really very different from the Greeks or the Romans, obsessed with duty, piety, loyalty, sacrifice? All those things which are to modern days so chilling. I looked around the table at the six faces. The modern tastes they were somewhat chilling. I imagine any other teacher would have been on the phone to psychological counseling in about 5 minutes had he heard what Henry said about arming the Greek class and marching into Hampton Down. And it's a temptation for any intelligent person, and especially for perfectionists such as the ancients and ourselves, to try to murder the primitive, emotive, appetitive self. But that is a mistake. Why? Said Francis, leaning slightly forward. Julian arched an eyebrow. His long wise nose gave his profile a forward tilt like Etruscan in a bas relief. Because it is dangerous to ignore the existence of the irrational. The more cultivated a person is, the more intelligent, the more repressed, then the more he needs some method of channeling the primitive impulses he's worked so hard to subdue. Otherwise, those powerful old forces will mass and strengthen until they are violent enough to break free, more violent for the delay, often strong enough to sweep the will away entirely. For warning of what happens in the absence of such pressure valve, we have the example of the Romans, the emperors. Think, for example, of Tiberius, the ugly stepson, trying to live up the command of the stepfather Augustus. Think of the tremendous, impossible strain he must have undergone following in the footsteps of a savior, a god. The people hated him. No matter how hard he tried, he was never good enough, could never be rid of the hateful self, and finally the floodgates broke. He was swept away on his perversions and he died, old and mad, lost in the pleasure gardens of Capri, not even happy there, as one might hope, but miserable. Before he died, he wrote a letter home to Senat. May all the gods and goddesses visit me with more utter destruction than I feel I'm daily suffering. Think of those who came after him, Caligula, Nero. He paused. The Roman genius, and perhaps the Roman flaw, he said, was an obsession with order. One sees it with their architecture, their literature, their laws, this fierce denial of darkness, unreason, chaos. He laughed, easy to see why the Romans, usually so tolerant of foreign religions, persecuted the Christians mercilessly. How absurd to think a common criminal had risen from the dead, how appalling that his followers celebrated him by drinking his blood. The illogic of it frightened them, and they did everything they could to crush it. In fact, I think the reason they took such drastic steps was because they were not only frightened, but also terribly attracted to it. Pragmatists are often strangely superstitious, for all their logic, who lived in more object terror of the supernatural than the Romans. The Greeks were different. They had a passion for order and symmetry, much like the Romans, but they knew how foolish it was to deny the unseen world, the old gods, emotion, darkness, barbarism. He looked at the ceiling for a moment, his face almost troubled. Do you remember what we were speaking of earlier, of how bloody, terrible things are sometimes the most beautiful? He said, it is a very Greek idea and a very profound one. Beauty is terror. Whatever we call beautiful, we quiver before it, and what could be more terrifying and beautiful to souls like the Greeks of our own than to lose control completely, to throw off the chains of being for an instant, to shatter the accidents of our mortal selves. Euripides speaks of the mind needs head thrown back, thrown to the stars, more like deer than human being. To be absolutely free, one is quite capable, of course, of working out these destructive passions in more vulgar and less efficient ways, but how glorious to release them in a single burst, to sing, to scream, to dance barefoot in the woods in the dead of night, with no more awareness of mortality than an animal. These are powerful mysteries. The bellowing of bulls, springs of honey bubbling from the ground. If we are strong enough in our souls, we can rip away the veil and look that naked, terrible beauty right in the face. Let God consume us, devour us, unstring our bones, then spit us out reborn. We were all were all leaning forward, motionless. My mouth had fallen open. I was aware of every breath I took. And that to me is a terrible seduction of Dionysic ritual. Hard for us to imagine that fire of pure being. So I think it does make sense to have this Ponte de Medo commander here. Is something like this. This devil is really fixed on certain plans and vision. There's some kind of order, like a little bit this kind of talking about the Romans that had so much order that they were like the shadow side attacked them. Let's see now what is the shadow here. So what we are seeing with this devil in this world. Currently, okay, these two footprints clues. 3 of Wands evidence tools. Wow, the same card. No, it's not same. It's a diamond, so it's a pentacle, but it's also 3 energy. It's a teamwork. So this is a clue that there is something to team with this devil. Evidence tools, footprints. Where the footprints are leading, maybe somebody is having snow and you could actually see where somebody go. Like the footprints tells a lot. Kind of like it's interesting how even humans create paths, animals too in the nature. Like those are sign of humans, like when we walk same paths always, but we have also in our brain certain pathways. So there is something about these pathways, like certain way of thinking, I would say, connected to this. Some patterns. Yes, this devil have certain patterns. You know this devil from the patterns. It makes the same patterns. Yes. Cannot hide the patterns. And it happened together with some team. Okay, then we have also 2 of Cups. So the false lover. This would be the node. Seductive wound, Cupid's arrow strike, choice to love, medium, emotional intuition, honeypot. Okay, there is like a honeypot person here also. Interesting. Maybe that's the beautiful lie. Something is too good to be true. Okay, what's the next? Let's see what is in the cauldron. What is cooking now here in this one? So we have crown chakra energy. So we have really this king and queen energy as well. I'm moving this to the cauldron now. Talking about this, and then let's have now the angel aspect of this reading. Saw it already, this Egyptian on this deck. This is the light towards we are going here. Cosmic influences, Ma, Tot and Kepera. Interesting. A lot is happening. But the cauldron, these are all big energies, clearly. Okay, we have here Udus Mundus, Synchronicity, Virgin Milk, wow, Blue Rose, and Blue Temple. This is amazing energies here. Blue is really high energies. It's talking about the same kind of like high awareness. Okay, I'm gonna before we go looking into this material, how we transform this, I'm gonna pull this card. So this is gonna show this devil again. It's kind of long reading, but Nicreo decomposition. First step of alchemy. What is to be broken down into its parts? What you need to confront. This devil situation is some kind of patterns. Then we have this other shadow aspect, albedo purification. Second step of alchemy, which parts are essential? What treasures can you find in this journey? Then we go to the light, Sikrinitas awakening, third step of alchemy. What I need to bring to my conscious, that needs to be illuminated. Wake up, and what is the rubedo culmination? Is the final product. This alchemy, okay. Okay, Six of Pentacles. This is like earth energy. Usually that you are receiving. I think in this part, because this comes to the darkness and the devil, there's something about groups you are connecting. Because these gnomes are here. What is this? Snow White story here. It's really like a Snow White story. This. Here is those gnomes. Okay, wait, I'm gonna look at this book. Okay. So to understand more, we are now broken this into parts that need to be confronted. 6 gnomes. Trees, both singly and grouped together, are fraught with meaning for us. In Celtic tree lore, specific trees have very definite meaning. Trees are used in journeying as a starting place from which to access the underworld, the upper world, and the other world. The life cycles of trees are a visible reminder of the wheel of the year, while evergreens are a constant reminder to have hope and faith. Group of trees can provide both places of safety and respite, as well as places of danger and fear. The forest is home of many creatures, and we humans are not always comfortable in the woods. It is often dark, and because we cannot see the horizon or even very far at all nor the sun, it is easy to feel lost and confused. However, in such dark, confused mess, it is easier to see your path, should you be lucky enough to stumble upon it. The 6 of Earth represents moving from one place to another. This is something that helps you transition from one state to another state. It provides a touchstone that you can always return to when needed. It is a safe place that protects and also prepares you for what is to come. To confront some safe place. I think this is really like a control somehow. This leadership is trying to control somehow the safety of this community, possibly. Okay, what is the next step? Oh wow, High Priestess. This be like a Snow White story. Here is in the form of the High Priestess is now Snow White. Part like this. But that is the treasure. Albedo purification. This is essential. This guide, inside guide. Well, this was talking about the trees are kind of portals to the underworld. But here we have a completely like a goddess of the underworld. Like this would be the Persephone kind of character. So I think now in this reading we are having always time and space, even this reading is timeless. It's talking about next eclipse. So clear. It's essential. It's something about this solar eclipse. It's coming now, and at the same time is kind of shifting to the 5-horse year. So in the 17th of February we are having this eclipse, and that is essential. That's what it is here. It's a magical moments here. But I'm gonna still read. So high priests represent non-rational, non-logical sources of knowledge. And these priests represent wisdom, the yin and the yang, the atame and the chalice, the magical combination of opposites, intellect, as in rational logic, thinking, and intuition. When these two aspects work together, we can find true wisdom. Again, this is the alchemical balance most tarot readers seek, combining an intellectual understanding of the tarot with intuitive responses to the symbols and images in the cards. Yes, very much indeed the card of the tarot reader. But in essential part is this, to be this kind of divine source. I started to see this as a message for me. Let's go forward. These are big cards anyway. We are going towards the light. And this is the third step of alchemy. Wow, Saturn. Saturn energy, karmic lessons. What needs to be illuminated? Okay, as the Saturn show up here, Father of Time, maybe we read a little bit of that. It's really saying like these are last times now in Saturn in Pisces and gonna shift to Saturn in Aries. I think this really shift is happening here. These cards are indicating that. So Saturn is here. Saturn rules our ambitions, goals, career, achievements, and long-term plans. These are all worthy things that often shape our lives to a significant degree. With achievements come kudos and recognition, but with Saturn, these are all hard-won, and it's in the winning of them that Saturn's true gifts are given. Our journey toward realizing our ambitions is filled with serious choices, including how we deal with authority figures and obstacles. Yeah, this is authority figure. How you deal with authority figures is key point of this alchemy here. Obstacles, we confront structures and restrictions and must determine how we face them, overcome them, or work in them. Through this we gain experience and wisdom. Life lessons are taught and learned or repeated. The Six of Fire brings a conservative, serious energy. Situations must be reviewed and analyzed, and decisions made with calculating precision. For what happens now will determine future trends. Much can be won, but not without a cost. And of course, I forgot to say that Six of Wands is usually victory card, and when I'm putting now as an icon of this reading also the Nike, it is the card of victory. It's here as your path to the light. You have to have this awareness. This is a serious energy here. Situation must be reviewed and analyzed, and decision made with calculating precision. For what happened now will determine future trends. Much can be won, but not without a cost. Just like seriousness is here. Anyway, this is all this energy. We're gonna soon go into looking this. The last part of this alchemy is Eight of Swords. Beautiful card. This is usually card of being a victim, but here it's actually connected to the all 7 chakras. So actually it's looking really much like a being aligned, meditating. I think there is a lot of power inside. They're both here on this side are like some female power. I'm also talking about in this reading, like you can see this kind of collective consciousness things in these cards now, but like often we hold a lot things inside, and you can hold a lot, like a work on the things inside before you see it outside. This is somehow showing that kind of alignment, that all the chakras are aligned and you would be like in full power. But let me see this message here. What is this creative work and its influence in your life? And it says this. It's a meditation, yes. So even the Pluto temple and this Virgin milk, I think is really synchronicity. It is this thing in the cauldron is talking about how you can be meditating, how you can be this kind of high priestess figure, how you go out of this material world into the metaphysical, and there is a lot cosmic influences here, especially in the sky now. Is this happening soon? So meditation is arguably one of the most useful skills a person, which or not, can practice because it has so many uses. The most basic is to help calm the mind and focus on our connection with the divine. Others include journaling, visualizing, and mental magic. Meditation can be practiced many ways, but to start out, simply sit or lay flat in a way that is comfortable on a chair, on the floor, on the bed. It doesn't matter as long as you won't be disturbed. Center your energy and ground yourself. Close your eyes, breathe slowly for a few breaths, and quiet your mind. Be still and focus on your breath going in and coming out. Feel the calming, grounding energy of the earth fill you while nervous, anxious, or any unneeded energy flows back into the earth to be distributed as needed. Remain in the state for as long as you like, but most people begin with 3 to 5 minutes. And instead of meditating with closed eyes, some people like to gaze at a candle or the smoke of a burning incense. This practice can also involve into scrying. Beyond clearing and calming the mind, the opportunities presented by meditation are endless. By entering into deeper states, you can take journeys to different planes of existence, visit the spirit world, and meet your spirit guides. You can dialogue with aspects of the god and goddesses. To do any of these, set your intent before you begin. You can do an important part of any magic, visualize. Clearly seeing your desired goal helps bring it into existence. You can perform mental magic by entering meditation and in your mind perform a spell as an example for protection. While in meditation, connect this spell with a small unnoticeable a movement such as touching your thumb to your ring finger on your left hand. It can be any small movement. Then, while you are out and about your daily business and feel you need protection, just perform the movement you connected with the spell and instantly cast it. Do any of these, set your intent before you begin. Depending on what you wish to accomplish, you may wish to cast a circle. However, for short mind calming meditations, most people do find that necessary. Meditation has many uses, but it has traditionally been used to quiet the mind and allow us to hear the quiet voice of wisdom deep within. The wisdom of the divine is in all things, including us. We just need to be quiet enough to hear it. The Eight of Air says to not underestimate the power of our mind. In this situation, the mind is the key. First, calm it, do it, not let it obsess. Second, focus it, decide the best way to employ its power. Finally, control it, maintain connection to divine, and keep it on task. Yes, the focused energy is powerful, and meditation increases that focus. But I didn't read this now. What was in the cauldron was such a beautiful synchronicity, Virgin milk, and Blue Temple here, all really much connected to this kind of how you are transforming this kind of devil that wanna see vision, but maybe is a little bit confused by all the people and people around. So you have to find your own magic. And these are these energies here, synchronicity. Hope my battery lasts still. Pile number 2. So, source, destiny, the miraculous message. The Unus Mundus is the presiding deity of alchemy. It arrives to remind us that we are not alone in our queries of our journey. What are we here to do? What pulls us forward? Unanswerable questions are timeless fuel for the flames of transformation. Mystics before us have uttered the same questions while tinkering in their laboratory. Do not underestimate the brave act of your attention to the details of your daily life, to the ecology of our world. What you notice matters. You matter. When this card arrives, sacred messages abound. Everything is a living symbol, a synchronicity. Its guidance is sent directly from the alchemists who have come before you to encourage you along this way. See the deeper meaning of what is in front of you. In this very moment, the new eye opens. Virgin milk also. Where is this thing? XL, where is it? Okay, I have to look for this thing. So this is also a new cauldron. Innocence, naivety, purity. In alchemy, luck virginis is a mystical substance, supposedly coming from the virgin's breast. The alchemist asks, how can it be? How can milk come from one not carrying a child? That is precisely the nuanced teaching of luck virginis. When studied as an alchemical concept, it points to a lack of awareness or experience that the alchemist would rather not reveal. Yes, this milky substance is a symbol of purity and innocence, but its shadowed side is naivety and even denial. When the virgin milk appears, discernment and honesty must be applied to the work. Is something being glossed over, rushed, or presented as perfect? There are likely complexities that need to be addressed so the alchemist can gain the maturity to handle what's next. Just one drop of luck virginis can be medicinal. It can help the alchemist act as if know your measure. The luck virginis archetype can be seen in child prodigies and those expected to grow up too quickly. It is remedied by admitting exactly where you are at. Humor and humility help. Yeah, I like this kind of visual thing about this blue. It's totally connected to this kind of meditation thing. I don't think I have to read this blue temple. I think it's really telling that this meditation is needed. This blue light is needed. Somehow I'm still, I shouldn't read it because the reading becomes too long, but maybe some of you do want to hear this and do need to hear this. So I'm gonna look this a little bit if I find. Where was it? So it's about celestial realm, the imagination, expansiveness. Welcome to the Blue Temple, the home of the alchemical imagination. You have entered a space of new depths, new possibilities. The inner eye opens and you become willing to see in a new way. Really, this opening a third eye here. It is the celestial color of the sky, the ocean, the peacock's tail. Though potent, blue slips away. Through this color, our imagination threads together experiences both grim and glorious. And we are taking into the depths of the mood, of tone, of the rhythm, of the blues. The eternal mystery of blue will only deepen as we study it, and this is precisely the point. Leave the cerebral behind, cloak yourself in the sapphire robe, and sit quietly in the vault of mysteries. Sit in the vault of mysteries. I think you have to, like, you see me having a new space for my tarot reading. I have organized my tarot room, and kind of I feel it very beautiful that I can do every of my reading now in the same room. I just remembered what was the shadow aspect of this reading. It was showing a picture of underneath the sea. So there is really this depth, even showing in this High Priestess card. And this is the light towards you go, the inner peace. And not to forget that there are these kind of outer elements happening in our world. Like currently, Saturn is still in Pisces, the last fishtail, actually the really like bluish moment of the Saturn in Pisces is very much the streaming energy closing up and then entering into the era of the Saturn in Aries. So it's completely different energy. So it is almost like going through this last Pisces realm and taking the wisdom out of it. That's here. And recognize some false lover, some seductive wound. Of course, this is a choice to love, but there's something about this darkness here that you have to focus on yourself, not always to other people. Choose yourself. Now. Okay, we're gonna give you karma card, especially when I saw the Saturn on table. What is the karmic lesson here? What you need to know? 8th house, personal power. Mental, the mysteries of life, physical, major change. Okay, Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is Scorpio transformation is some Scorpio eagle and then the final is the firebird. There is really this rejuvenation happening. Something is like the times are changing also. You have to take the lesson of this kind of dreaming Piscean energy for sure. That's here. Yeah, the witch advice. Torch. Enlightenment, hope, and manifestation. Spirit. That was not fire, spirit. The torch has long been seen as a symbol of spiritual enlightenment, guidance, and hope. Definitely this guidance is here also for you, going through this dark stuff. There's some inner guidance available. The goddess Hecate, yes, very much, carries torches to light the way for the horde of restless spirits. The appearance of the torch in a reading is a positive message regarding the fulfillment of deep wishes and hopes. Your hard work and perseverance have paid off, and you are reaping the rewards. No matter how dim situations become, the future is sure to be bright. So see this as almost this kind of like a belly of the winter. Time to go deep and then be ready to rise the new energies in the spring. And this is your final advice, cosmic influences from this Anubi oracle. Today is a long reading. I hope my battery will last, that everything comes together. So you get the advice card based on your chakra energy. So as well, you got your deck based on that. So this is now. Maat balances the heart with the light of truth, while Tot communicates with the higher language of wisdom. Meanwhile, Kepera protects Earth as he spins the world through the cycles of change as the initiate petitioner takes the next step in his or her part of destiny. If you pull this card, these great allies are already protecting and guiding you. Notice how the qualities of truth, balance, order, wisdom, illumination, and enlightened communication view through the stories and cycles occurring in your life in relationship to your question. Sit with these wise ones and remember. Yes, that's about it. Remembering is like a remembering. Remembering who you are, truly. This is also going really deep to get powerful. All this kind of the turning this kind of very let's say like a taskmaster person who is really just in the ordinary world life into more deeper alignment and peace about who you are, what you do in this world. Much more like remembering who you are. Okay? And really focus on yourself. Still currently with your person. Find the tool. And this and this. Golden compass, purpose, happiness, higher self, GPS, clarity, intuition, alignment, truth, finding way home, inner journey, life path. Yes, totally. Love potion, intoxicating chemistry, sexuality, heart, alchemy, flowing feelings, bottle feelings, elixir, spirit, pressure, love, bond. The person is really feeling magical love. For some reason they have come this one. I am stated, I am creative. Creative indeed is that light energy. How you do alchemy, you do with creativity, you are like a creator. When I have no judgment, I see everyone with kindness. Heart chakra. I think your person wanna know, like remind you about this heart chakra. Even if you're on these higher powers, you still are powerful when your heart chakra is in place, like in use. That's the emperor of the whole body. So nothing like a spiritual alignment cannot be happening if the heart is not involved. You can only rise higher when all the chakras below are activated. So it's all have to be all on, all lights on in the house. And then it is safe to laugh. I show all of me. You can be seen for light and shadow. Why we hide our shadow. Interesting, this milk is coming again here, and here we have this virgin's milk. What is this this milk message here? Now I'm getting curious. What the spirit wanna say about this milk? 2 times. Innocence. Innocence indeed. It is true, innocence is part of the intuition. You cannot be intuitive if you are not innocent. So you have to kind of, that heart has to remember, yes, that innocent part too. We often like we are hurt, we forget that inner child and so on. It's really this inner child with this milk, I think. Pure milk. I wanna verify something here still. We're talking about the devils of the world. Show me one more this devil. Who is this person? Queen of Pentacle. Okay, somebody female who is somehow related, wanting to have money, but of course this is a very secure woman usually. Good wife. This devil position. Maybe it's a widow. Rich widow. What else? This comes here. Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups. I don't know why they jumped. And they just jumped here. Maybe this is showing the relationship. This is the the cups are always like there is really this true love relationship. Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups, romantic feelings are here. Maybe they are drinking even milk, not wine actually. Cats like milk. Yeah, maybe they were wanting to say this. Cats like milk. There is really that kind of basic needs you need, and you need true love, and that's milk, and not this wine and not coffee. It's a milk. You need milk. Nurturing white milk. Yes. Anyway, it starts with your own like a purity here. Clarity, purity. So let's move to the next reading. This was pile number 2. Welcome to reading pile number 3. You have selected this for once. All of a sudden, Lambert Cycloclub. Something about this devil we are transforming now in this reading. Let's read immediately this book, quote from the Secret History. Death is the mother of beauty, said Henry. And what is beauty? Terror. Well said, said Julian. Beauty is rarely soft or consolatory, quite the contrary. Genuine beauty is always quite alarming. So, number 3. Aristotle says in the Poetics, said Henry, that objects such as corpses, painful to view in themselves, can become delightful to contemplate in a work of art. And I believe Aristotle is correct. After all, what are the scenes in poetry graven on our memories, the ones that we love the most? Precisely these: the murder of Agamemnon and the frat of Achilles, Dido on the funeral pyre, the daggers of the traitors and Caesar's blood. Remember how Suetonius describes his body being borne away on the litter, with one arm hanging down. Death is the mother of beauty, said Henry. And what is beauty? Terror. Well said, said Julian. Beauty is rarely soft or consolatory. Quite the contrary. Genuine beauty is always quite alarming. I looked at Camilla, her face bright in the sun, and thought of that line from the Iliad I love so much, about Pallas Athene and the terrible eye shining. And if beauty is terror, said Julian, then what is desire? We think we have many desires, but in fact we have only one. What is it? To live, said Camilla. To live forever, said Bunny, chin cupped in palm. The tea kettle began to whistle. Wow, this is interesting that this is now this card. This is usually putting a party together, a community. When I think about this Cycloclub, I think about Belgians because they are really like everybody's here biking. So there is really like European friends, Tour de France, there is really this kind of thing. And I have this Paris deck to show now a darkness, what we are tackling here in this alchemy reading, the Art of Alchemy. We are going into the dark now. Get ready to beautiful lies. Let's see what is here, the subject. Ten of Pentacle, Mountain, Treasure Island, Fame and Fortune, Stolen Money and Time, Hidden Gems and Legacy. Okay, this is a positive card, is Legacy, but indeed if the biker would have this kind of Tour de France, it would be the hardest part to climb the mountain. This is like a money mountain or like a legacy mountain, like it indeed could get that point in your life. You get the 10 of Pentacle. It's really, really not easy. This devil is wanting to have like a kind of like a conquer the mountain. There's something about that to leave a legacy. Very, very like a focused on like a family legacy or group legacy. Okay, So immediately, what is the light we are going towards in this reading? We are looking to heal some shadows in the collective consciousness. These devils weekly show up. So what is this light? Obliviousness, awareness. Awareness brings indeed healing here. Okay, now we have to put the prima material in this cauldron, because we have a cauldron here cooking. What is the subjects this devil is about? Is this legacy about? Getting awareness now. This one. Yellowing snake. We still have a snake here also. The void. And the Pluto. Wow, Pluto is indeed currently very meaningful positions. Pluto in Aquarius years are said to be all about the power in the struggle in the community. This is community card. Dark times. Snake in the paradise. Oh, I love how this snake is getting in part of this decoration. Wow. Pluto on the table tells me really like something is sex, power, and rock and roll is here now. Like it's some power dominance games are going on here. I'm still not reading those. Let them here, because void can be a beautiful thing. You can pull anything out of the void. That's usually very magical. That's like a cauldron indeed. It's all about that, like a feminine power of the cauldron, that they can be born some new stuff. Snake is recreating the skin and so on. Sort of darkness here. Let me show again the devil here. We are now in the alchemy cards before I read these things. So first step of alchemy, credo decomposition, what is to be broken down into the parts. What we are seeing here. Then albedo purification, second step of alchemy, which parts are essential, what treasures can you find in this journey. Let's see to start things. Six of Swords, healing. Five of Swords. Okay, they are really like a similar cards, but of a different meaning. So part of this devil story is really going to calmer waters. There is something in this community, some power struggle that has shaken the boat. The boat is, somebody's rocking the boat, yes. Or there is too much in the boat. Of course, this boat is connected to the Styx that drives the people around to another side, to the dying lands. So it's like this kind of transition. It's like a transition going on here with the devil. Transition period. Something is changing. Snake is talking the same. We're soon changing to be fire horse here. We are still last parts of the snake here. Well, then we go forward. Treasure is this defeat. Five of Swords. Really like some people cannot find agreement. They run to different directions. This person is looking what's going on here. It's almost like a castle. The king has like chaos. There's something going on, like a power games here. Like, I'm not gonna fight with you. Like, we got another orders now. Now we have to go to hear what's happening next. There's some kind of redirecting. Can you see this card? Maybe this is the spot. That's not the darkness we are moving. Okay, let's see now. Awareness. It's beautiful that there is this kind of water here as well. Let's put this away. Space. Third step of alchemy. What I need to bring to consciousness, what needs to be illuminated. So in this situation, it's a bit like a lot of dark energies around, what needs to be illuminated, and then what is the creative work and its influence in your life. Like these two cards. 6 of Wands. Interesting. 6-6. Mirroring stuff. Dark and light of the same. Sword is always a little bit like heavy energy, but 6 of Wands is a victory card. That's a positive thing, but it's really like everybody's in the move. If I was saying here that people are getting redirected with the orders of the king, now everybody's on the move. It's almost like, how you call it when people are putting the war orders? Like, come to the military. There is really this happening, but of course this could be also a very, very big celebration of somebody's victorious, but it's really for everybody's on the move here. It's like a circus is in the town or something. A big event. That's illuminated. Some major happening is happening here. Like something is totally happening here. Hero is coming home. Okay, what about then this final? Rubedo, culmination. 8 of Wands and the wheel. Okay, so the palace is crumbling down, and the wheel, which is this year, 10 year, is actually about the Wheel of Fortune, but it's expansion. So it is gonna be very firepower, like that is the light here. The things needs to happen. Even though this can happen too much too soon, and it feels like a whole castle is getting broken. Here is almost like a alarm, somebody's gonna attack, so it's gonna be a bomb. Let's run away from this palace, and then somebody is indeed, army is coming and bam, and then it's like, yes, something is collapsing. So it is a time of a karma. This wheel tells like there's some kind of moment of action. I really see this Pluto here. I think about these power games. This really can be unfortunately like a war news. This devil, and I don't know if this is something we can stop, but we can understand before this happens. Of course, we can understand. It's almost like this devil is like, calm down, nothing is happening, or like everybody's kind of like a bit restless here still. Still things are still happening. Okay, I'm gonna read now what is here. Yellowing. I'm gonna find this. Yellowing is here. Aging, transitioning, warning. Indicating transition, the yellowing leads us into the next phase of our alchemical work. Envision the yellowing as pages of a beloved novel or the ochre blanket of leaves in fall. This color seeps out to signify the beginning of the end, a return to zero. Even a deep bruise finds a yellow tint as it reaches its final phases of healing. In contrast, yellow can be a marker of long-awaited growth, as seen in the first rays of the sun and the cheer of 4 Cynthia in February. Whatever is message, yellowing tells the truth. It leads us forward. like the vibrant canary in the mine, warning of what's to come. Take heed, the transition is here. Whether by yolk or bile, how to respond is up to you. It's likely you already know. Go deeper, look at Terry O'Neill's photographs of the David Bowie in 1974. And ponder transition as a teacher. This is totally transition happening here. Imagine a rainbow with no yellow. The colors remain static, disconnected. The gift of yellow is the bridging of all phases, the full expression of life spectrum. Yellow writes, fine line in art. The color is often interpreted as cheeriness covering turmoil, as seen in the late painting of Van Gogh. A little bit warning here. I see it also with this huge darkness. What we are pulling out of this dark, this is really the magical work now. Let's pull something positive. Let's ether. Sometimes news in our world are a little bit like a doomsday, but we still can believe that humanity will win. This is almost like that. Void. Liminal darkness destiny. The void is a mystical riddle in and itself. It cannot be understood by means of alchemy, chemistry, science, or spirituality. It astounds the most adept seeker and humbles the philosopher. From the depths of nothingness, all feelings and possibilities are birthed. Behind the curtain of our material world, the power of eternal spaciousness is at work. This card may appear at a time when something has been released, a relationship, a possession, a title. But the void is much bigger than any worldly entity. When an alchemist approaches the void, destiny shifts in the darkness. Like magnets, you are drawn to it as it's drawn toward you. Meditation is critical at this time. It's nice that in the Pile number 2 was totally advising you to meditate, and now it's like meditation is critical at this time. Just sit and breathe. Surrender to the vastness. There is an electricity between you and the void that is sacred and timeless. From its center, everything is born. To ponder the stage behind the curtain and watch the movie The Never-Ending Story. See this as a positive mindset that this is a never-ending story. Whatever is happening, the devil is wanting to build some conquer a mountain or like a whatever material world ambitions, but there is a story and you can be the one to remember that story and make most of it. Pluto is here, and that's totally a warning because that's often very dark powers. Now in the Pluto in Aquarius years, I've been predicting the AI has a very, you can look my old AI videos. I made them like 2 years ago. No, when was it? 2023, I think. I made already because it was like a pre view of the Pluto and Aquarius then. So I predicted then the next 20 years. So Pluto in Aquarius is now our next 20 years, and this is somehow here now. We are having these years. So let's welcome the Underworld, power and compulsion. Pluto's realm is one of deep and undeniable power. Known as the planet of Underworld, Pluto has a captivating effect that pulls us into its depths, leading to all things excessive and Dionysian in nature. Images of the resurrection, possession, the sacred heart, birth, sex, and death are all symbols of Pluto's volatile energy. When this card shows up, know that everything will be amplified as if through a live wire. It's all about power and maybe even addiction. Though Pluto's force field can be ruthless, this tiny planet pushes us toward necessary growth. When we follow its mesmerizing pulse, we are taken into the depths to be changed. There is no point in pretending the underworld is not at work. Admit that you are in it and find the support you need. Not making it worse is a big accomplishment. Go deeper, watch the movie Labyrinth, and to ponder the miracle of small things. In palmistry is said that the energy of Pluto resides in the mound of the hand above the heart line and below the headline. Locate your mound of Pluto. Amplification is powerful alchemical operation. Notice what thoughts and speech you amplify throughout the day and adjust as necessary. Yes. Power indeed sometimes can be too much too soon. Here is really like something is collapsing. Something is collapsing. So it is a little bit warning, like maybe there is some warning, like some bombings or some war situation. This looks like that. This is your advice, awareness. And I didn't give you even yet the karma cards, so let me show that first. Hope that it's still going. It's long reading, but the karma for this pile number 3 is this Libra. Spiritual relationships, mental, the beauty of physical, do it with your partners. And so indeed, everything is about good relationships. It's really like a balanced, how you connect to others. Power games can make you like somehow like obsess about things, or like somehow don't understand how important the relationships are. Yes. PR, public relationships. It's your advice here. Do it. And then Witchy card is pile number 3. Is this Agnes Waterhouse, intense emotion, culpability, morality. Okay, the cat lady is here. The cat lady wanna say. The star of the first widely published witch execution in England, Agnes Waterhouse represents taking responsibility for one's own actions. Just as Agnes confessed to her witchery in order to spare her own daughter, so much we do what is best, even if it may be uncomfortable. Regardless of the reasoning or causation, we must look past our heightened emotion and take the higher road, for the betterment of everyone involved. Yes, it can be a little bit this kind of heightened emotions here with these power games. Now, I think I leave really this in the end, and we can current feelings of the person. Number 3. What's happening? There is love in the air always, also possible for you. What is going on here? Energy in twin flame relationship. Older twin, masculine energy. Embody strength, logic, and assertiveness. Feminine energy reflects intuition, nurturing, and receptivity. Older twin flame offers protection, structure, and rationality. Younger twin flame may embody more feminine energy, bringing creativity, emotional depth, and openness to the connection. The age gap creates natural polarity. Talking about some relationship that there is age gap. Match made in heaven, 100% yes, action now or never, intention, dream, relationship, feeling aligned. Okay. King of Cups, do you think the showstopper loves show? Oh my god, OMG. There is this kind of circus director with a sea show. And twin flame love, trust me, I'm yours forever. 2 of Cups, the lovers. Interesting, like the shadow side of this reading was actually the love card, the choice, and it's coming here, the twin flame, like only twice. Twin flame relationship here. Maybe we should verify a little bit more. Show me this couple energy here still. We are dealing. Queen of Pentacles. Somebody, woman with the money. And then we have here Seven of Cups. Somebody dreaming and wanting to drink it away. But beautiful. Dreamer and a practical good wife. This is this twin flame. Nice. Water and earth. Somebody taking it easy on the couch. Solar plexus chakra is of course the hero's journey. Here we see the hero's journey also here in this light side of this alchemy. But when things are happening, it can be chaos. So watch out that it's very hard to. People are just reactive in chaos situations. So these power games, whatever is here, can make you reactive. So awareness is now the final advice here. Meditation can be really a healing thing for all these pies. Having a meditation practice every day possibly can help you a lot. Uncertainty plays a big factor in triggering anxiety. It can be uncertainty about your living situation, whether a person likes you or not, whether someone might leave you, whether you will get the job you applied for, whether your boss will like your work. The list can go on and on. If you look at all these things and imagine a positive or a negative outcome, you might feel that the stress is not actually about the outcome itself, but the fact that you don't know how things will turn out. Sure, you might not want the negative outcome of the two, but you may prefer to know the answer for certain, so you can act accordingly rather than having to worry about which way it's going to turn out. You may also prefer to know that this person you are interested in doesn't like you in the same way rather than having to guess and play detective to find out. When you don't know a resolution to something, it keeps your mind in a constant mode of analyzing and weighing options and doesn't give you a chance to deal with the outcome yet. Once something has been confirmed, there is a path of action and you can do something about it. If your boss doesn't like your work, you have the chance to improve. If you don't get a job you applied for, you can move on and look for something else. Not being able to do something can be more stressful than dealing with a negative outcome. This card encourages you to come out of the unknown by taking action towards enlightenment in different situations. It might feel safer to hide below the surface rather than peeking up to see what's really going on, but if you keep floating around in the bubble of the unknown, it's highly likely that the anxious feelings you are harboring won't go away. Affirmation: I'm courageous enough to find out whatever answer I need to hear. And I give you this exercise. List 3 things that you keep ruminating about because you don't know the answer to. Write down the questions you need to ask and to whom to be able to find the answers. Collect your courage and send out the questions and be prepared to receive whatever answers you might receive. Still, all the magic happens in the unknown. So that's true. But yes, sometimes indeed in our world too, if there is a threat of war or some things out of control, you might be very anxious even about the things that might happen even if it doesn't happen. Here something is happening in the light sense that maybe certain ways have to change. There's some change here also in this palace crumbling down. Of course, change can be scary. It's not easy. Wheel of Fortune is all about change as well. Things are whirling around here, for sure. When you pick this pile, things are definitely gonna change. Anything else? I think I'm gonna give a little bit light because there is this kind of little bit darky stuff. So let's give a little light message here. I am energy in motion. So even see this as the alchemy, that you are energy in motion is a good thing. It's good that things are moving and not stagnant. I am a creation. Yes. It's alchemy itself to be creative, to cook something in this cauldron. Really like something comes out of this mess. I'm strong. Okay. Pluto energy indeed. There might be power games just to show how strong somebody is. Unknowingly, some weak men are doing this. They are just like, oh, I'm strong, and then just using force, and that's not strong when you're hurting other people. So can be part of somebody's way that they have to show they are strong, and that's not always nice or beautiful. It's ugly and nasty and messy and so on, but there is a magic in the mess. So at least that I can say as a silver lining. What else? This book was talk about beauty is terror. Sometimes some beautiful thing that we want, even a relationship, it can be scary even that something is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful dream. Like you are like, is this true or is it a lie? What is this? Because it's so good to be true. So it can be even that playing part here. Like you are scared of your own highest potential. Like you can be in a very high way to be yourself, but you might be scared to rise so high, to follow your own hero path and be this strong person. But it could helpful to say, I am strong. Maybe you need to remind yourself how strong you are. Okay, I end this reading now here. If you liked it, it was only 2 hours. Give me a like. If you're new here, I'm doing this weekly reading following this secret history. Now I have this book. I do it until 22nd of March, so 12 episodes. And this week was about the beautiful lie. And see you next Sunday. Thank you for being here. And hopefully everything turns well. Hopefully there is not so bad stuff that looks like. But sometimes you have to be realistic. There can be some changes in the world and it's not always beautiful. Yes. Okay. Bye.